breaking news, the Trump administration canceling $400 million worth of grants and contracts for Columbia University, citing what they call consistent inaction in the face of, quote, persistent harassment of Jewish students. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is reporting from D.C. What have we heard? Has Columbia responded?
Columbia has responded. We reached out to them for a response to this action that's coming from the Department of Education, the DOJ as well. The university says that it's looking at the announcement at this point. We can show you part of the statement we received from them that says we are reviewing the announcement from the federal agencies and pledge to work with the federal government to restore Columbia's federal funding. We take Columbia's legal obligations seriously and understand how seriously this announcement is and are committed to combating anti-Semitism and ensuring the safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff. There was part of the statement from these agencies, the Department of Education and others, that said for too long Columbia has abandoned its obligation to Jewish students, and today we demonstrate to Columbia and other universities that we will not tolerate their appalling inaction any longer. That's from the new Education Secretary, Linda McMahon. And you might remember that in the days after the Hamas attack on Israel, we did see these pro-Palestinian demonstrations at universities, different universities around the country. Columbia University obviously was one where we saw many demonstrations, and since then there's been a joint task force stood up in the federal government that was designed to combat anti-Semitism, and there have been investigations of different universities, Columbia at different points in time during the Biden administration, as a matter of fact. And now we have this action coming from the Trump administration, Chris, where we've now seen about $400 million in federal grants and contracts that are being canceled by this administration because it doesn't believe that Columbia has done enough to protect Jewish students. And so we'll be listening to see what Columbia says it has done and what it will do in the future in hopes of trying to reinstate these grants and other programs, Chris.
Aaron Gilchrist, thank you.
Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyimla, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Hakudash, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to other H.I.M and Akwaf. That's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, to the best of their ability. This is Hanan Awaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And as you can see, you know, everybody pretty much knows what's going on with this type of actions from the U.S. government or Trump's, cabinet, so to speak. Everybody knows because Israel really are trying to save face. You know, they looking so bad to the world when all that Gaza shit went down. Those 50,000 or so people that they killed, majority of them was women and children, and you had all these protests going on over, you know, in a lot of places. It wasn't just university shit. People was protesting every damn where, you know, and it wasn't just here in the U.S. You know, it was protests going on all over the place. And then, you know, you had the UN, I think that was the UN, the international courts, basically, or whatever they want to call it, that really don't have no power. But but of course, you know, they called him a war, you know, Bibi Netanyahu, a war criminal, and pretty much put out an arrest warrant for that guy. So, and they was actually spending a lot of money. I done a lesson on it. It was months back, but they had a fund where they was pushing a lot of money through a lot of networks, you know, to try and clean up their image, because people kind of lost that look of Israel, like that innocency, you know, that cloud of smoke that smoke screen that they had over the people kind of dissipated and disappeared, and people was looking like, you know, goddamn, these some wicked ass people. So it didn't fare well with them at first. You know, it was kind of like the October 7th shit. They kept talking about that. You know, everybody was with it. Yeah. Israel, get them. You know, you have a right to your sovereignty. How dare they do this to you guys? And then all of a sudden you see, you know, a little bit more to the picture as the months went on, and you know, and still they going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So really, in reality, they're just trying to save face. Well, let me grab a quick scripture real quick. It's gonna be a quick one. I just seen that, because first off, let me get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11. For we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. In the New Living Translation, it says, so that Satan would not outsmart us, we are familiar with his evil schemes. So we're familiar with the way that these people move and the way that they act. Because throughout history, for hundreds of years, this has been an unliked people. I'll put it that way. Because of the way that they get down, people can see it, and it's kind of like they're like a damn, I'm gonna keep it classy because you know how they get down. But it's only certain things that you can really say about these people. So they're setting up laws. Trump has actually set up laws where they actually have more rights than anybody else here in America, from the way that they kind of put it, because you already have laws set up for everybody. Supposedly, all Americans should be living by the same laws. If I smack you, you smack me, or if I, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You have the right to call the officers. I have the right to call the officers. We both can go to jail for the exact same thing. Whatever. Whoever done what. There's laws set up for if somebody, offends you, does something to you, steal your property, so on and so forth. But Trump has set it up where, well, we know that it's not Trump because we already know who's in charge. It's them that's in charge anyway. But they have made it where they have an extra protection as opposed to the the regular people, the other U.S. citizens. If you're here, because anybody at Columbia, because I don't remember nobody getting fucked up or nothing like that. I don't think any of them were attacked. They was just mad about those Palestinians setting up shop, and so many Americans actually too, because a lot of Americans was running with those Palestinians. Man, it wasn't just Palestinians that was out there protesting. There was a bunch of these new age so-called white kids, man, that was out here protesting too. You even had some of the Israelis was protesting with the Palestinians about some of that stuff, man. So right. So what we get from it, a couple of things you can get from it, but overall is this, Amos 8 and 11. Now you have to realize too, this is the reason why a lot of these camps, these Israelite camps, they have those 501c3 charters. When you get to playing with the money, you can see where the person's heart is at. You know what I'm saying? Because the scripture talks about how you can't serve God and mammon, which you can't serve the Lord and money. Right? So it's certain things that these Hebrew Israelites, they won't talk about because they get a 501c3 charter, they're tax exempt, and they raking in a lot of money. So when it comes to this Columbia, what did Columbia say? From what, the statement said, hey, they're going to do everything that they can, to pretty much overall, get their shit together. We're going to do what the federal government is saying so we can get our federal funding back. Because $400 million, that's a lot of fucking money, bro. And these schools are not doing as well anyway, no more like that anyway. People not, really going to no colleges like that no more, man. It used to be a time where you can go and get you an education and actually live in this place, man. But now everything is uncertain. But this is Amos 8 and 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. So pretty much what they're trying to do is they're going to try overall get the word or the men of the Lord off the streets, bringing out this word, calling them the imposters that they are, coming up against these Edomites, telling them that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Hebrew Israelites and not them. See, the world has been listening. This truth is going out through the four corners of the earth, and it's only getting bigger. So now they have to, pretty much try and clean things up. Like, people are starting to look at them like, and it's actually shit out here where hey, you're not the people. When you came over there with the 1948, that Belfast Declaration, and y'all stole that land, and, it was just the way that it was set up. People already know. These other nations know that you're not the actual Israelites, But it's not looking good for them. That image that they had, that squeaky clean image, that shit's over with for them. It's almost like this Camp Sakari, man. Squeaky clean, not over with, bro. Nobody's looking at you the same no more. The world has changed. The world is not all that little shit they're trying to do to try and, gain back the public confidence and shit. No, that shit over with, man. Amos 8 and 11 again, behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So it's going to come a point where they're even going to come at us. You know? Because they made it to the point where pretty much overall, you say something about these people, you can be in jail. They'll come and throw your ass in the back of a squad car and take you somewhere. And then, the shit Trump coming up with, man, hey, your ass can end up on no fucking telling where, man. Your family won't even know where the fuck you at. Quote, Guantanamo Bay or some shit. Where they can hold you for as long as they want without even pressing charges, man. So we get that, man. Well, let me see. Slovakia. Okay, so Khan, this is what I was talking about earlier. It was from last year, but it was just last year, a couple of months back. It wasn't that far back. But I remember this because I remember doing a lesson on it. But it says Israel has spent millions trying to win hearts and minds abroad. It's about to spend 20 times more. Israel Foreign Ministry will receive 150 million for what's officially known as public diplomacy, or in Hebrew, hasbara. Right? So let me see here. It said, okay, under the new budget, Israel's foreign ministry will receive 150 million on top of what it gets for existing activities for what's officially known as public diplomacy, or in Hebrew, hasbara. That sum is more than 20 times what such efforts have typically been allotted in past years. The dramatic expenditure is a result of the political deal that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, we always say Netanyahu, struck last month to shore up his governing coalition. Politician Gideon Sa'ar and his New Hope party agreed to rejoin the coalition in return for the funding and the appointment of Sa'ar as Israel foreign minister. So it's a bunch of buy-in. These Israelis, man, they go hard body, man, about just fucking themselves. Okay, let me see. Yeah, right here. It says its office released a statement saying it would be used to influence sentiment in the foreign press on social media, because in the foreign press and all over the place, these people, Israel got a real bad look, man, and it hasn't come back. That shit didn't even help. So this little money that they threw out there, that money didn't help, man. You know what I'm saying? People still looking at them like, and so now they're coming with all these anti-Semitism laws and shit like that. When shit. When it comes to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you real Israelites, you're the ones that's being hated on the most in the world. But guess what? They're not going to come up with no special fund for your ass like that. They get to talking about civil rights this, civil rights that. But then they'll throw the LGBTQ in there with your ass. They'll throw everybody in your mix instead of saying, well, you know what? Those so-called blacks, though. They should have a separate one for all of us, Hispanic and Native Americans. But for example, those so-called blacks have been treated like shit throughout time in this country. And anybody, I say anybody that's anti-black, we're gonna, get rid of their funding. No, they're not about to do no shit like that, man. See? So, I mean, it is what it is on that, man. But, overall, like I said, again, this is coming down to famine of the word, because they're eventually gonna, he already calling us the prophets of doom. He knows. So don't think that Trump and them don't know who we are. And then you had that one Amalekite or Israeli woman that was talking about how we were the worst thing that happened. I don't know. We're the worst thing that's going on in the world today, type of deal. I forgot. I think it was some conference down in let me see if I can find it. Slovakia. Okay, Khan. I found a video, and this is from what's her name? But it's on African Diaspora News, but I think I can't think of this lady's name, Vicky something. I can't think of her name, but she had it on her channel too. But this was a year ago, and this is the so-called Israeli woman. It says Israeli consul official says Black American youth are a threat. So isn't that why didn't they call that anti-black? Why do they have extra laws for the anti-Semitism? Why can't she? Now check it out. I'm gonna play what she said. And this is for educational purposes only, right? Not getting any monetary value off of it, but let's play it.
Is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
So just to give a
So let me go back. I'll pull up what she had up here. Let me see here. Salakia.
Problem of Israel is with the young generation.
Now check it out. She says the major problem with Israel. We ain't in Israel. The average Negro ain't never got no passport to go to no fucking Israel. The major problem with Israel is with the young generation. Here we go.
Of the black community.
Of the black community. Now she said that when all the shit was going down between her and the Palestinians. She didn't say the Palestinians. She didn't say, Iran around us, these Arabs around us, this, that, and the third, what's around it, this, that, and the third. This is what she said right here. The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of black community. See? So what does she know? Who is she talking about? See? Because they're starting to see, from our apostles on down, see our apostles, Apostle Tahar, he's been in this truth for like 40 years. Apostle Gabar, like 40 years. The apostles, Ramla, so they're older gentlemen. But there's a lot of Israelites that are really just young so-called black men. You know what I'm saying? From the ages of, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, most definitely I would have to say 17 to 30, 35, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But some even younger than that. But when they, it's a lot of camps that's out here on these corners, man, you'll see them, man, and none of all them dudes is in their 20s or something like that, man, very young men. So why would she mention that we're the problem with Israel? Why didn't she mention that we're the problem with America? Hell, Jake running throughout America wilding out. So why would she mention Israel? Because they understand that, the Hebrew Israelites, this movement, the children of Israel, the awakening, and going in on their asses and telling the world, hey, look, you Edomites, those are Edomites over there in Israel. They're imposters, and they're going into captivity. So that would be anti-Semitism to them, just for me saying that. Just for me reading the very Bible that they supposedly be going by. See? So you have to keep in mind, man, what's going on out here. So when they done this bullshit Trump shit, you know what I'm saying, with this Columbia University thing, that's for everybody. That's going for everybody. But it's most definitely for the Hebrew Israelites, man. You best believe that. Because when they get to threatening funds like this, guess what? That shuts everybody up. Because they ain't going to want none of those funds to be taken from them. 400 million? Well, they're going to get right back on top of that. What do you want us to do? You want us to call the police on anybody that's looking at a Jewish student wrong? Okay. Well, no, they didn't say anything, but they were looking at them pretty hard. Come on, get in the squad car. Put your hands behind your back. It's going to be whatever, man. Because these, it's all about money. And that's why we say, too, with a lot of these camps, man, you can't serve. Let me get that scripture. I'm going to end out there. Can't serve Yahweh and Mammon, man. You got to be willing to just go straight, hardcore hard for this truth, man. When it comes to that money, fuck that money, man. You had one damn camp out here trying to, telling the Israelites to go and take the goddamn them jump shots and the boosters. Yep, Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. He cannot serve God and mammon. So when it comes to this truth, this is why, when shit hits the fans, that digital all come around, or that MOTB, that mark of the beauty and the beast, we call it, Revelations 13, 16, and 17. Hey, when that comes around, this man is going to get a lot of people to come and take that strictly because of money, strictly because people are going to want to live the lifestyles that they were accustomed to living to, and he's going to come at you with an even better deal. Like, hey, well, look, shit, come and take this. We'll put this shit in you, and you're going to be living better than you've ever lived. Trust us. So we understand what it's all boiling down to, man. This is just a part of the end days prophecies as well. This truth is going to be stopped. Internet going to be shut down as far as like you hearing this truth, and you got to get it while you can get it now, because this wisdom and this knowledge, will be the stability of our times, man. So it's going to come a point where the Lord is going to say, up. Matter of fact, let me see. The Lord is going to shut this thing down. You're not going to be able to hear the truth no more. See if I can find that one. Yeah, Ezekiel 3:26, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. So it's coming to a point where, hey, it's going to be shut down soon, man. So, once the elect is sealed, which they could be sealed now, who knows, you know what I'm saying? But once the elect is sealed, it's going to be a wrap. All doors are going to be closed to this truth. Doors of grace going to be closed. It's going to be a wrap, man. It's going to be some last minute people that's getting it, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? But yes, overall, it's just going to come a cutoff point where the Lord is going to take the man of the Lord off the street, you know what I'm saying? And there's not going to be no more talking as far as this truth going out like how it's going out now. So with that, hey, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yasha Allah and a Baba Ball.